Yo, what's good? It's your man 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Today I wanted to do a video about Draymond Green and how the disrespect has gotta stop. Has gotta stop. Yo, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Yo, I needed to do this video because look, I get players mess up. I totally understand that players mess up. And Draymond Green, once again, he's messed up. Punching your teammate in the face, yo, it's always uncalled for. You on the same team, you got to be able to work that shit out. You got to be able to take a moment, take a breather, especially when you are the veteran, when you are the leader, when you are the guy that other guys are looking to for direction, when you are in a contract year, when you are trying to affirm why you are so valuable to this team. You have to do better. You have to do better. And something I did in a previous video was that something that we also have to do as fans and as critics and as those of us who love and follow the NBA or our favorite team, we also have to make sure that we don't allow something that happens, one, to be what we compare a player to based upon what we perceive or think other players would do. In other words, we cannot compare Draymond Green to every other player. We can't go, well, this guy's never done that, so therefore, this is what should happen to Draymond Green. Look, Draymond Green is a special case. Guys like Ron Artest, guys like Dennis Rodman, guys like DeMarcus Cousins, guys like Rasheed Wallace, guys like Bonzi Wells, guys like, and I'm kind of going back here in time, but there are guys who are built a little different, who move different. They're carrying more, they've dealt with more in their life, they have a different pedigree, a different story, a different past, and they're built differently because of it. And a part of it, the reason why they're so successful is because of how they're built. They're built like somebody who's tough as nails, who's able to enforce a certain amount of will and authority and aggression in a game that can shape the game, that can dictate how the other team is going to move. The Ben Wallaces, right? The Alonzo Mournings, even the Shaquille O'Neals, right? Even the what's his name, Charles Barkley, right? These dudes at sometimes operate on a line that's so thin between going too far and just being who they are. And we recognize that this line is completely different than, I would say, 90% of the other players' line, right? And even that 90%, they all have a different line in terms of what they're able to take in terms of stress within a competitive moment and how they're going to manage it. But this is where the disrespect has to end. Because he's done something egregious, because Draymond Green has done something that has crossed the line and gone too far, does not negate everything that this player is. It does not negate everything that he's done. You know, there's this aspect to where we say, you know, hey, you don't count a millionaire's money. You don't count a billionaire's money. You don't go and you start saying, well, this is what you need to do with your money. This is what you should do with your money. This is what should happen, this is what shouldn't happen, da, 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 because you don't know what he's operating in. You don't know his investments. You don't know what he's got going on. You don't understand what he has. You're just looking at it from the outside, acting as if you know what you would do if you had that. Well, you know, we also got to do that for players as well. Somehow we just take a glance and look and we go, oh, this is what I would have done, wouldn't have done. And so therefore now I can now judge what this player's value or this person's value is and then say, this is what they deserve. This is what they should have. And we start counting their money. We start going, no way I would give Draymond Green $25 million. No way I would give him $30 million. No way I would give him a max contract. No way I would. And we start acting as if we understand the inner workings of what this player contributes. And the sad part about it is we seem to have forgotten everything that Draymond Green is. Everything that Draymond Green has been and continues to be. I tried to mention a little bit in the previous videos, but some of the things that we also have to recognize is that as much as Stephen Curry has been pivotal, not just pivotal, he is the quintessential star of the Golden State Warriors. He is what their championships hinge upon. But let's not diminish, please, for a moment, the man who has led this team in rebounds, assists, at times steals, definitely blocks. The guy who has one of the best plus minuses when he's on the court. The guy who anchors and quarterbacks their defense as well as their offense, who runs the show on both ends, who has to be the coach on the floor directing traffic, the guy who holds other players accountable, the guy who sets just as much of the culture as a Stephen Curry does, the guy who has been there from jump when they turned from a promising team with all-star at the time, David Lee, and all of a sudden comes in when David Lee gets hurt, and in the playoffs against the Clippers, all of a sudden you see the potential with Draymond Green, how it elevated them from a barely getting into the playoff team to all of a sudden, oh, this could be something special. This could be something special, right? Draymond Green has been a talent from the moment he got into the league, and he found himself in the perfect position to maximize all of his strengths within this Golden State Warriors system. In fact, a part of the reason why the system is what it is today on the offensive end is because of who Draymond Green is. Look, you cannot run Stephen Curry off 30 screens, 40 screens, have him run. I think they did he runs like something crazy, like 5 to 10 miles every single game because he's nonstop movement, going in and out of screens, him and Klay Thompson running off a guy's shoulder, backdoor cutting. The reason why you can do that with those two amazing shooters, greatest shooters of all time, is because you have Draymond Green at the top of the key facilitating. Make no mistake about that. Yes, Andrew Bogut did a great job facilitating. He's not Draymond Green. He's not grabbing a rebound, leading the transition break, and finding Steph in the corner. Andrew Bogut was never doing that. Never. Never. The reason why this system is what it is also because of Draymond Green. And the reason why it will continue to be what it is because of Draymond Green. Guys are trying to act like Jonathan Kuminga learning how to make some backdoor passes and Kayvon Looney making a nice pass here and there. All of a sudden replaces what Draymond Green does. Yo, y'all are sick if you think you can easily replace what Draymond Green does. Look, this isn't me saying excuse everything that he did. Punching Jordan Poole in the face, yo, that was hostile. It was out of place. It's not something you ever want to see. And at the same time, that does not diminish what he brings. His level of toughness and physicality. Yo, make no mistake about it. When Boston was up 2-1 against the Golden State Warriors in the finals, it was Draymond Green who changed the momentum of that series when he came in and said, you know what? I'm about to disrupt and blow up everything that Boston is doing. I'm about to enforce my will on this team. I'm about to disrupt all their momentum, all that nice movement, cutting off the ball, all of that attacking the basket, getting to your spots. Draymond Green frustrated that team to no end and completely reshaped that series. You cannot replace that. You cannot. I don't care how good you think Jordan Poole is, how talented he is. Keep in mind, Jordan Poole has never spent a full season as a starter. I'm going to say that again. He has never spent a full season as a starter, no matter what you project him to be, no matter what you think he will become, no matter how good you think he is even right now. Jordan Poole has never been a full-time starter. Andrew Wiggins, for the first time in his career, we are looking at him and said, wow, he's really good. Not talented. We've always known he had talent since way back before he even got to the University of Kansas. We knew when they were calling him the Canadian Kobe Bryant that he was going to be special. And he was, in a great draft with Joel Embiid, Jabari Parker, Marcus Smart, a bunch of talented dudes. He was the number one pick for a reason. He's healthy, he's durable, insanely athletic at 6'9", 7'2" wingspan, extremely versatile, all these different things. And yet, what is one of the biggest critiques he's always had his entire career? His motor. It never seemed like he really wanted it. It never really seemed like he had that switch to be able to flip on when it's game time and the lights are on, to push himself, to impose his talent and his will to dominate. He never seen, and you know what? To this day, he still does not have that ability. You cannot anchor the Golden State Warriors system and defense to Andrew Wiggins. You definitely can't do it with Jordan Poole. You got two guys who look really good because of a system that Draymond Green helped build. You got a guy who looked great on defense in Andrew Wiggins because he had Draymond Green behind him. Yeah, Kayvon Looney was there too. Kayvon Looney wasn't playing 36, 37 minutes. Kayvon Looney is just finally getting healthy for a full season and really stretching out and showing what he can do for an extended period of time. He's just getting here on this stage. Draymond has been on this stage. When they were cutting down Lob City Clippers and everybody thought that, wow, Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, wow, JJ Redick, Doc Rivers, oh, they're coming. And every single time they went to Golden State, who completely blew up Blake Griffin's game? Draymond Green. Who was the defensive player of the year? Who was first team all defense? Who was the one who anchors that defensive culture in Golden State? Without Draymond Green, I don't think they ever develop a defensive culture. Ever. You had David Lee there. You had Harrison Barnes. Klay Thompson did not come out of the draft known as a defensive player, high-level defender. Came in as a shooter. Definitely Stephen Curry didn't. This system and this team and what it is, Draymond Green is just as responsible for as Stephen Curry in completely different ways. Let's be clear, in completely different ways. But he should never get what he brings to this team diminished because he made a mistake. And too often we do that. None of us go to these NBA team governors, right? Previously called owners, but we know how problematic that is, right? These NBA team commissioners or governors, we never go to them and say, hey, you just made a terrible trade. You just fired the best coach this team has had in decades. You just let go of one of the best talents that we've ever had. You know what? You should make less money. You should make less money. I tell you what, I want you to give a percentage of what you're going to make this year to these players over here and say, none of us do that. None of us do that. Oh, you shouldn't be making as much money as you did, Donald Sterling, because you've been a racist dude this whole time. Nobody touched his wallet. Matter of fact, he sold his team for $2 billion. And he got all of that. All of it. Now, all of a sudden, a player makes a mistake, we want to touch his wallet. We want to start talking about how much he's worth. Oh, well, on the open market, who's ever going to give him that much money? Do you know what he did for the Golden State Warriors? Do you know what he does? Do you know what he will continue to do? Remember, Draymond Green's game is not built around athleticism. He's not Dwight Howard. He's not a defensive big that needs to be able to have a great vertical. He's not a defensive big or even an offensive big who needs to be able to run past everybody, right? He's not Giannis, right? He doesn't need a quick first step, right? His game is built around his grit, his heart, his motor, and his IQ. He is highly skilled, even if it's not at shooting. Do not think for a moment Draymond Green is not one of the most skilled forwards in the NBA. And you think you can easily replace him? With who? With who? With who? I don't think they get past Dallas last year without Draymond Green. I don't think they get past the Dallas Mavericks. Right? There are certain pieces, there are certain individuals that I think it's too easy sometimes for fans to get caught up in whatever's going on currently, and we get into this recency bias and we go, oh, well, that punch, man, oh. And then we forget everything else. Now, I'll still stand by it. The Golden State Warriors should have operated in that chain of command, in that order of those veterans on that team and said, let's take care of Draymond first. I know you have an opt-in year next year. You can do that. We'll extend you for at least 2-3 years past that. Maybe 4. Hey, we might regret it in year 4. You know what we won't regret? Is being a contender for the next 3. That's what we won't regret. Now, I know they got 2 more years if Draymond Green opts in after this season. They'll have 2 more years of Draymond Green. I think he's getting close to 30 or a little bit over 30 next season. But damn it, don't diminish what he brings. I don't care how good you think James Wiseman is. I think he's great. I think James Wiseman is going to be a great player for this team. He has a great future. Jonathan Kuminga, too, and Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, the whole lot of them. I'm not too sold on Patrick Baldwin Jr. yet. He's a little soft. Needs to round out the rest of his skill game, defense, and a lot of other things. But Dante DiVincenzo, great, right? Great players in their roles and who they are. And, of course, you got Steph and Clay doing their thing, right? Kayvon Looney doing his thing. Andrew Wiggins definitely doing his thing. I love it. But not one of them is doing what Draymond Green does. Not one of them. Yo, if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. This is Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Look forward to hollering at y'all in the comment section. Peace.